And another good evening, YouTubers, fellow reloaders. Reloading Bench back with you once again. I wasn't planning on making this video. I can say that about a lot of the videos I make. But this one came up, I'm going to say, as a follow-up to some comments and questions I got on this as it related to, the site work that we did when this was first picked up. And sorry for my janky tape here that doesn't want to stay on. But for a reference point, this is a 4-digit serial number beginning with 5, so low 5,000. And I have no idea what they're at today, but obviously we have an unloaded pew-pew here for the interweb folks who go berserk over pew-pew condition. So again, this is a follow-up, and the reason I wanted to make this was I was poking around on YouTube, and somebody made a comment about the magazine that I have with mine, and this is a made in Italy Mekgar, I don't know how to pronounce it, Mekgar magazine. I know they're a big name, and it's a generic MG Browning high power BR-HP 9mm. So this is a 10 round Browning high power magazine. And one of the claim to fames for the SA-35 was all the parts on this should, keyword being should, that's like all 1911 parts are interchangeable. Yeah, that's in concept they are. The reality is you might have to do some fitting. But the point I was trying to make was a lot of, if not all of the parts on this should interchange with a Browning high power, an older Browning high power, all the way down to the grips and all these other things. So there goes my cheat sheet of information. So my sets of videos were previously on fit and finish, where I talked about somebody referencing that hole punch being marred up, some stuff on the magwell being marred up, some fit and finish issues, a high point on the grips, or it might even been in the back where the grip safety area would be. Again, fit finish issues, and my fit finish issue, as you saw previously, was my front sight. And what was funny was I stumbled across another video, because when I had first got this and made my videos, there weren't a whole lot of videos about fit, finish, or problems. It was mostly, getting it and shooting it and saying how wonderful it was. So when I purchased mine, this was the actual image that the seller had sent. And, obviously I've blown this up so it's pixelated. But you can see, I'll call it like toothpaste. It looks like dried toothpaste right there. And quite frankly, when I was at the local shop and we were doing the PPT, I didn't really notice it until later when it was time to put everything away and see it in 10 days, when I'm like, oh, do you guys have the brush? And I brush it off and I'm like, oh, that's some shit there. But again, it wasn't a showstopper. It wouldn't have been a showstopper even if I saw it during the transaction or noticed it during the transaction, so shame on me. But again, a lot of people, if I paid $700, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. I paid a lot more than that, and I should have given it a second thought, but all worked out well. In any case, I happened to stumble across another video because I was thinking, yeah, this is probably a one-off. And this gentleman, his YouTube channel is 5280 Armory. I like the fact that he's got the mat that says his channel. That's kind of cool. But he was showing his, and he's got it. Let's see if I can make the serial number out. 1, 2. It looks like a 5-digit serial number, so it's 1,156. I could be wrong. Again, pixelated because this is blown up and it's a screenshot. But what I noticed when he was talking about, he wasn't really referencing fit and finish. He was referencing function. And nothing that I did from my videos was about function. It was all fit and finish specifically. I didn't get a boogered up fit and finish like somebody else did, but my sight was definitely crusty. So I just happened to notice when he took a picture, when he shot in, zoomed in, same thing. Obviously not as bad as mine, but you can see the crustiness of, whatever that, I don't know what that material was, but it looked like dried toothpaste. So if anybody knows, obviously it's an issue because other SA-35s have it. Well, in any case, this guy, 5280 Armory, he was talking about function issues. And I want to say I watched somebody else's video as well. And a couple of comments that were made on the different videos were the first time it was sent back to Springfield, it took a week. The second time, it took a month. And for each time it came back, it still exhibited the same functional issues. And one of the gentlemen, one site, one YouTube channel, it's a little dirty, was saying, and I've shot this a bunch, was saying, what did he have? Failure to extract. Dead trigger. I've never seen that before, where, he was shooting and these were all Springfield Armory OEM magazines that came with the SA-35. So I don't have original SA-35 magazines to compare to because my state limits our freedoms, and I can only have 10 pew-pew freedom seeds at once in a magazine. So this is a 10-round 9mm magazine for the Browning High Power. There's my 10. So in any case, this is what I took out to the range, and this is what I used. And this gentleman was going through, talking about, I think he had gotten it back, and it wasn't, I don't think it was this channel. It might have been. I've watched a few. In any case, he was going through a bunch of rounds and having gotten it back the second time to see if it was still having the issue. And sure enough, there were, failure to extracts as he was shooting. And he was shooting all commercial. So I don't shoot any commercial. I only shoot my own reloads, and they're all 115 grain, and my powder of choice is unique, and I think I'm in the high 4.8 grains. I could be off. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to look at the press, which is right next to me. Actually, no, I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever the recipe is, it's unique. 115 grain, round nose, and obviously, either Winchester or CCI small pistol primers. I have not had an issue with my hundreds of rounds, but this guy was showing a dead trigger, and I've never seen a dead trigger where live firing, slide functions, so he's got a round in there, it's cocked, and his trigger will not respond. It's almost like, he's doing this, and the hammer is not falling. So he showed it all live. So as soon as he, ejected the magazine, ejected the round, he was able to then fire. So I'm not saying that these particular, oh, there goes my serial number. Let me cover that up again. I just don't like sharing that info for whatever reason. So my video was all about fit and finish, because I had not yet taken it to the range. And I think my last video of the series was a picture of taking it to the range, and I'll flash that target up. This thing was a tack driver for me. I mean, point of aim was point of impact for the white dot. And I love the sights, love the function. I have shot a few hundred rounds through this. I have not, again, with this magazine, and I only have this magazine, so I don't have any other experience to draw on. But I have never had a failure to eject, failure to feed. I've never had a dead trigger. So all of the issues that others have faced, and again, the guy that was shooting that had the dead trigger and the failure to eject, it was all commercial. He talked about, I think, some of his reloads too, but for what he showed on the video, I think, if I recall correctly, it was all commercial. So with me, I have zero complaints about the functionality, or I have zero issues to complain about with the functionality of this SA-35. Again, this Mekar 10-round magazine, a Browning High Power magazine, never had an issue. And I guess my results were kind of the exact opposite of this guy. So I'm glad I didn't send this to Springfield to have them do the site, because it sounds like The folks who have been sending in their pew-pews to have them addressed are still coming back with the same problems. One of the comments was, did Springfield even shoot it? Yeah, I'm reasonably confident that whatever the issue was, Springfield shot it. Did they shoot 150 rounds? No, they didn't shoot 150 rounds. They probably put a couple, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe even a magazine. I even highly doubt that. I'm going to guess, bang, bang, it works, send it back. And again, maybe it is an issue with the Springfield magazines. I know Springfield has some challenges with the 5-inch Prodigy as opposed to the Commander size. And I've seen some videos about people measuring the barrel inside diameter. It's actually tighter tolerances on the 5-inch than the 4 1/4. So, and I'm not saying that that's any issue with this particular platform. All I'm saying is, I'm hearing, reading, seeing Springfield doesn't build guns anymore. They put parts together. So if other people are creating their parts and they're assembling their parts, maybe there's an issue with the parts or the specs for the parts. But one would think the inside diameter would be identical for a 5-inch versus a 4 1/4 barrel, or at least Commander size versus full size 1911 or 2011. 1911 double stack or a copy of a 2011. So I'm not saying Springfield has issues. When you look at anything that's mass produced, cars, electronics, phones, TVs, electronics is a big category. Anything that's mass produced, tires, brakes, you're just going to have something that, misses the QA check, if there even was a QA check, or if QA was on duty that day. QC, QA, quality assurance, quality check. But shit happens. And what the unfortunate fallout is, when shit does happen and you do send it back and it still comes back, shit happens. That's unfortunate. And that's where people are losing faith, because another gentleman's comment was, I've sent it back twice and it still exhibits the problem. So much for a carry gun or home defense, because the last thing you need to do in a critical situation is have a dead hammer. And I'm over-exaggerating because I don't have a dead hammer, or a failure to eject, so that you're in a situation where things are a little tenuous with trying to protect yourself and deal with a jam. So any gun can have that happen. It's just unfortunate that some of these newer guns seem to have these issues, and of course it gets promoted on the YouTubes in terms of, hey, this shouldn't happen, and I agree, it does happen. So my first video series all about fit and finish. No Mars dings, scratches. For me, it was just a sight issue. And again, this thing has been a tack driver. I love shooting it, and I can't say enough about it. So it's unfortunate others have had issues with some of the quality or functionality of their particular platform or their pew-pew. So not going to ding Springfield, but obviously they need to make it right, especially for folks who thought they were getting a functioning platform, and if it's not functioning, that's no bueno. But that's it for tonight. All is good. This is a tack driver for me. I've not had a single function-related issue, and now that the fit finish has been addressed, definitely a keeper. I like how the gun functions. I like how it operates. I like how it feels. I'm not the biggest fan of 9mm. It's not my caliber of choice. But when I do shoot 9, I sound like the Dos Equis guy. But when I do shoot 9, it'll be out of a Browning high power clone known as the SA-35. So, but I think, as you've seen in other, I like exploring other platforms, and I like the Hudson. I also like the AXG, the SIG 320. So there's a lot out there. I just wish that Bruin would take effect in our state, so we would not be limited to 10 rounds. We'll see how that goes. But others are definitely experiencing, fit, finish, and function issues. And as I said, I hope Springfield steps up and makes it right, because this guy didn't even say anything about the crusty sight. So considering it was in the exact same spot as mine. That caught my eye right away, and it looked very familiar. But this, for me, this one is a winner. Can't say that about some of the others that are out there in the wild. And again, you know, this is an earlier 4-digit. Let me make sure that was 4 digits. Yes, yes, it was in the 5,000. So I think I said that this was 5-digit. So that wouldn't be. Actually, you know, hard to tell. Hard to tell if that's a 4-digit or 5-digit. I'll have to rewatch the video and actually see. So it might not be the low 1,000. Maybe it's above 10,000. So again, maybe they're pumping them out too fast. Who knows? But I will say I would like to get my hands on a Prodigy. That's for sure. Give it a try. Take care, folks. Later.